I think it's more about that. But everyone sucks here.
All right, let's get to the next one.
Cool.
Am I the asshole for telling my family they don't get a say on my child's name and I do not want my child's name to blend in with theirs? My husband and I, both 25, are expecting a baby together. I'm having some trouble with my family over the name. Background: I don't share the same name as my siblings. My parents had me, and my mom chose my name. It's not your typical name, it's a nature name, which she also had, and isn't one of the common types like Lily or Rose, for example. My parents bickered over my name according to dad, and mom ended up choosing my first name while dad chose my middle name. My parents' marriage wasn't great, and by the time my mom died, when I was 5, Dad had met my stepmom, Jane. For a while after my dad and Jane moved in together, they asked me if I would like to go by my middle name, Claire, instead of my first name, Acacia. I didn't want to use my middle name, and Dad was a little upset, but they let it drop. My dad and Jane were more compatible with their naming preferences, and my siblings' names are more expected: Elizabeth, James, Hannah, Michael, etc. My name did get comments, and I would proudly tell people my mom named me. It wasn't easy for Jane to hear, and my family didn't love it. I love my family, but I was always proud of being named by my mom and never cared that I stood out. I never wanted to be more like them or blend in with them better. It was a connection to my mom that made me proud. When I was younger, I used to talk about carrying on with nature themed and more uncommon names when I had kids. Based off that, my family questioned when we told them that I'm pregnant and if we plan to do just that. We do, but we did not tell them. We told them that we would be discussing names and would announce after our baby was born. My family made suggestions. Jane made suggestions that she thought were darling and would blend in so beautifully with the family.
I already hate this.
I told them we didn't need the names and asked them to please stop suggesting them. Talk of the baby shower and planning on that has brought this more to the focus for my family. They told me they feel we should take their thoughts on board, and my dad said I should consider not letting my baby's name stand out among theirs the way mine did. My siblings wanted me to consider Jane and how she would feel if I copied my mom's style and stay far away from hers, when she has been raising me for years and hearing me bask in the joy of people knowing my mom named me. I reached the end of my rope and told them all that they don't get a say on my baby's name and that I don't want my child's name to blend in with theirs. That it doesn't matter the way they seem to think and the way they make it sound. It's like telling me I have to choose between them and my mom, or more accurately, Jane and my mom. They told me I was callously dismissing their feelings and what this means to them and what message I'm sending to others. They said I started it years ago by making it clear I wanted to name my kids like mom named me. Am I the asshole? Damn, that was a long story.
Oh my gosh. What does any of this have to do with you?
That's like, this sounds like a American Girl book or something.
Right? Oh my
Like,
gosh.
where are we in the 1800s or something where it's like we all have to sound the same? Like, what? It's cool to have a cool name.
Acacia
I want
Claire.
all of our kids to have cool names.
I know. Me
Doesn't
too.
mean that they have to be all unique, but they can all sound cool.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not gonna be naming my child like James. Like, come
James
on.
is one of the worst names I can think of.
Like, James is honestly,
What
I
are
hate that name.
what are the siblings again?
They were, I don't know if they're their actual names, but they might be.
Maybe.
They said Elizabeth, James, Hannah, Michael.
I'm sorry. These are
I
all
like Elizabeth.
they're all
I
pretty
do.
typical.
I do like Elizabeth, but
They're very common. Yeah.
um, and then Michael is like I
Mm.
kind of like it, but like not. I probably won't because it's just so much.
There's
The
too
only
many
thing that
Michaels
Michael
though.
like ran in my family,
Yeah, that's true.
but then my mom kind of broke it anyways
I know.
because she didn't name anyone
I know.
their first name Michael. It was only middle name.
How many generations was Michael in your family?
I don't know,
Just your
but
grandpa
I know that
and
my
your uncle?
pop-up and my uncle. But
Hmm.
no, you're not the asshole.
Yeah. Why are they saying names Why don't they appreciate you?
Why
Why
are
don't
they
they
so
like you?
mean about
Why is
it?
your husband? Why is your dad immediately replacing his dead wife? What the fuck?
Yeah. I mean, it's been a long time, but like,
Yeah.
it's like if I was you, I would be doing the same thing. I'd be like, yeah, my mom named me. I'd
And
be
I
like,
feel
so,
like,
like, I would be like
yeah,
that.
I feel like your name
I
is
think that's
pretty.
sweet.
I think your name is pretty uncommon because of people your age don't really have it.
Yeah.
So I like that.
Um,
This is such an interesting name, and I've only met one person named this.
what, her name?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. I like it. Yeah, I like it.
I like that. I really want to know what her mom's name was, and I love it. It's
Yeah.
like a little legacy.
I know. I would definitely be doing the same thing.
Yeah,
Your mom is dead.
that makes it
This
even
is
worse.
your connection to her.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, you're gonna name your children
Mm-hmm.
similar things. Like, this just makes sense, and it's so
Yeah.
sweet. And who gives a fuck about your
Mm-hmm.
siblings? Who gives a fuck about your stepmother?
Mm-hmm.
Because even though your stepmother is the one who raised you, you're calling her Jane.
They're calling her Jane, and this is what it comes down to. They want you to go by a different name. They want you to not have your daughter named by the same floral naming scheme. They want to throw out your mom. Your dad wanted to throw out your mom from right before she died. Even when she died, he wanted to throw her out in the trash.
And it's like he kind of met Jane like quickly, like it
Yeah,
seems.
it
So,
said that by the time she died, he had already met Jane.
yeah, like that's kind of crazy.
They want to throw out your mom. Don't let them throw out your mom. Okay?
Yeah, no, I would be doing the exact same thing as her. And then
This is so
if you
horrible.
love your like if you're close to your stepmother,
Yeah.
and maybe you're just saying Jane for the story
Yeah.
or whatever, middle name.
Jane is the perfect middle
You
name.
could middle name your child Jane.
Mary Jane.
And then, yeah, Rosie Jane, something Jane. I feel like Jane, yeah, that is probably a good middle name. Yeah. So like
Birchwood
even-
Jane.
Pine Jane.
Citrus Jane.
Pine Jane.
Mm-hmm. Lemon Jane.
What's other trees or
Rose Jane.
Lily Jane.
Lily Jane is great.
Oh, Lily Jane's
Lily
cute.
Jane's cute. Wait, no. You can't wait to take that. Yeah. Hold on to that one.
I don't know. I don't know.
I always love the name Lily, but yeah.
Yeah, I've definitely grown into it a little bit more. What other things are there?
Oak. Oak Jane.
Oak Jane. Oakley.
Oakley. I hate that
Oakley
name, actually. It's
Jane.
a
Well,
sunglasses.
that's like a guy's name. Anyways, whatever. Someone said, I think the thing that rubs me the wrong way is that rather than pick names for the other kids that blended with their already existing child, they picked very different names and then made a big stink about how you were different, even going so far as to try to get you to change your name so that you'd fit in better.
It's horrible.
Now they're rubbing salt into the wound by trying to make sure the baby doesn't match you either. Well, you don't want the little one to be a left out weirdo like you, do you? But whose fault was that anyway?
I know.
A child who is different should be a celebration or a happy coincidence and not a thing they're, embarrassed about? Not the asshole. These people suck.
Yeah.
And then OP replied, yes, they picked names that they loved and had always wanted for their kids. The oldest of my sisters got the name my dad wanted me to have and pressed for me to have when I was born. He got to use it anyway and is still so bitter about it. And the thing is, I never really would have thought about it if they hadn't brought it up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely.
People are so weird.
I would not care. I would be like, I'm unique. I'm cool.
Yeah.
Someone said, sounds like the dad from OP's comments had always wanted a different name and was steamrolled into the nature name. OP replied, and he would have gladly steamrolled my mom into the name he wanted. In the end, each picked a name for me. Maybe not the best way to compromise, but either way, one would have been left unhappy with my first name.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, man.
I feel like when it comes to names, it's definitely like more like I feel like the mother's like, like she gets to decide. But like you still
You
like,
would say that, wouldn't you?
you still both discussed, like, if you absolutely fucking hated a name that I liked, then it's probably not happening. And if I
Yeah.
absolutely hate a name that you like, it's
Yeah.
not happening.
I feel like there's so many things in a relationship that you need trust, communication, and compromise in, and this should not be different. You should already have that skill when you get to
Yeah.
having a baby.
Yeah, definitely.
It shouldn't be,
And
oh,
also,
this is the
like,
first thing we have to decide on together, and we fuck it up.
no, yeah, that's, no. But also, if you hated a name that I, like, it would have to be, like, something that I loved forever, but, like, even, like, opinions on these things can change.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, if you absolutely hated a name that I liked, I would probably not like it anymore because you hated it. Like,
Or, yeah,
you know?
right. It would,
Like, I
it
would
would
start
change
to
it.
not like it
I
as
mean, that
much
did
because
happen with
you.
one of the names.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think if you had a preconceived notion about a name, like you knew somebody who had that name that you didn't like,
Yeah, I feel like that's, like,
that would
usually
suck.
what it is.
But then if I was like
But if it's a
convincing
huge
you,
name, it's like, you don't
yeah,
have that.
if I was convincing you like, oh, this doesn't have to be because of that person, you change your mind. It's just like a conversation.
It's
It's just a
also like the
conversation.
older you get, like I don't like the name Lily because of like a
Yeah.
person I kind of knew,
Hmm.
but like now it's like that is so far back in my memory
Yeah.
that it's like, and I haven't like had a new person to room in there or anything,
Hmm.
so it's like now it's like, oh, okay, like yeah, I kind of like it a bit more, but like, and especially like, oh, I like the flowers, like they smell very nice,
Hmm.
and it's like, okay, yeah, I like it a little bit more,
Yeah.
but I'm still not at that level
You
yet.
get a fresh
You know what I
perspective. Yeah.
mean? Okay, so my phone died and now it's the next day. So we're finishing off this podcast. We know where we kind of were at. We were talking about the name Lily and how I kind of liked it.
Also, when they're trying to get rid of this name scheme, which it was like plants and nature, that it feels like they're trying to get rid of her biological mom.
Yeah.
So that's just where I'm at, and so I think definitely not the asshole, and
Yes.
she needs to get a new family.
Yeah, this was definitely not the asshole. Um, but it would be sweet if you like. I was saying like if you're close to your stepmother, then you should
Yeah.
try to incorporate her name somehow because she like, like that would just be nice.
Yeah.
Anyways, let's go to the last story that we didn't get to go to.